Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Stamp Set Sunday. This is Brenda Labataglia and I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! Stamp Set Sunday is designed with the cost-conscious crafter in mind, where we feature one stamp set and we make 5 projects. This week, however, we have something a little special. I wanted to start on some holiday cards, and I had in my stash this Oh What Fun stamp set, and you can see here there are no backgrounds or no images. There's only sentiments on or in this stamp set. So I thought it would be fun to combine it with the work of art stamp set using these stamps. Now let me show you what we've done for you this evening. Now on Pinterest you can find a lot of different cards, and lately you will be seeing, at least I've been seeing, a lot of holiday cards. The ladies in my group, we had Christmas in July. We made some holiday cards in July, but I wanted to get some in the video for you. You've seen this one on Pinterest, I'm sure. I chose to use the music paper to stamp the wreath using the image here. We're going to show you how to do this in a little bit. And we then did 2 trees using, for this one here, we used this stamp. And then this tree, a little bit more detailed for you, using this stamp to make that tree image. Fun, huh? And then we used some of the images. Now I saw this card on Pinterest using each of these images. So we used this, and then the circle and the heart, and then this one here to make the scarf. And I wanted to make something a little bit different, so I made them round using the same images and using the layering circles. We just made a round card. Isn't he kind of cute? I think this would be a fun card, these snowmen, for kids to make and give out to their teachers and moms and dads and aunts and uncles. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay, I've got a couple more to show you. Not too hard to make. Just used some foil paper, embossed the sentiment on here. And then this one, we used our glimmer paper and our irresistibly foil, let's see, what is that paper? Irresistibly floral. It's a resist. We embossed, used the bow punch, made this look like a gift. And we're going to get started to show you how to make all of those for you in just a moment. I'm going to figure out this glare. Alright, I will be back in just a moment to show you how to make all of these cards. Alright, the 'Tis the Season wreath card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That's the base of the card. The mat is using Cherry Cobbler cardstock, and it is 4 by 4. And the image layer is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. And we use the music paper out of the This Christmas Designer Series paper stack found in the 2016-2017 annual catalog. As you can see, we are just using one of the images from the Work of Art stamp set using the Garden Green Stampin' Ink. And we are stamping in a circular motion, and you'll see that we stamp off some and stamp full color. We're going to apply the matte to Very Vanilla card base using snail adhesive, and then apply the image layer atop that using the snail adhesive as well. Using the Cherry Cobbler Stampin' Ink, stamp directly to the Very Vanilla, which is the Season Sentiment. I had some candy dots in my stash. I'm using those for the berries on the wreath. Now sometimes when you are needing something in a particular color and you only have white, here I have the white seam binding, and you can use either the Stampin' Write markers as you saw just a moment ago, but I didn't have the Cherry Cobbler here where I do my videos. It's over in my art studio. But I have the Stampin' Sponges, and so you can see we're just applying the Stampin' Ink directly to the seam binding. And if you've got white ribbon, then you can make it any color to coordinate with all of the cards that you make. Now, I am the worst bow maker ever, so please don't laugh at the bow. But I wanted a bow on the wreath, and there you have it. That's card number 1. Alright, so cards 2 and 3 are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That's the base. One is done on Very Vanilla, the other on Cherry Cobbler. The matte sizes are 4 by 5 1/4, and the image sizes are 3 3/4 by 5. Now, because I showed you how to stamp the wreath, I didn't want to bore you showing you how to stamp the trees on the background. By looking at the pictures, I think you can get an idea how that was done. So what I wanted to really show you was how to add a little Christmas tree decorations to the tree using the gold Wink of Stella and the rhinestones. We cut a star using the glimmer paper, the gold glimmer paper. We're using the Oh What Fun sentiment for this tree card. You see there that I used the triple banner punch, and I cut it just a little bit too close to the beginning of the sentiment. So take 2. We're just edging with a little color just to have it pop off the card just a little bit. We adhere it with Stampin' Dimensionals. Now, to get the Wink of Stella, I just squirted some out onto the tabletop and grabbed that up on the brush tip of Wink of Stella and just tapped it with my finger, and it just applied random Wink of Stella dots over the tree, over the card. And initially, I took the Cherry Cobbler Stampin' Write marker, which I had picked up from my craft room. I colored some berries on the tree. decided I didn't quite like that, so I used the Stamp and Write marker and colored some of the jewel rhinestones and applied those over top. Some of the color came off, so I recolored. I don't generally like to color them while they're on the card. I have a tremor in my hand, and sometimes color goes where I don't want it to go. I'm sure that happens to a lot of you. And then I've ruined a whole card. And so I try not to apply the color on the card, but I did okay there, as you can see. And there you have. I think these snowmen are so cute, and as I said early on, I think they'll be great for kids to give to family and friends. So here we are, just using the images from the work of art stamp set to create the hat and the face of the snowman. All of the images are being stamped on Whisper White, and the snowman's face is adhered to the real red using Stampin' Dimensionals, and then all of that is adhered to the basic black card base using snail adhesive. The card base starts out at 5 1/4 by 10 1/4, scored at 5 1/8, cut out using the scalloped circle from the Circles Collection framelits. Here I'm applying some Wink of Stella. It's a holiday card. It has to have glitter, right? He's so cute. Now we don't sell the bright candy dots anymore, but I had them in my stash, which you will hear me encourage you to do all of the time. And I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and this is my business, but I also want to encourage folks to use what they have in their stash. Applying a little holly. You see that I messed up on his nose. I made him black and I wanted it orange. So I used all paper has two sides. Don't be wasteful. There's your snowman cards. Alright, so Happy Christmas is using the Very Vanilla card base, which is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. It's a side fold card. The mat, using a sheet from This Christmas Designer Series paper, is 5 1/4 by 4. And we used a scrap sheet of paper to stamp. Actually, we embossed using cherry cobbler embossing to stamp the Happy Christmas sentiment. You're going to want to use Versamark to do that. You'll need a heat tool. And to make life easy, to get the extra embossing powder back into its pot, just use a sheet of copy paper, or some folks use coffee filters, just something that's easy to fold so that you can get the embossing powder back into its pot. And you can see there that I didn't quite get a good solid stamp, so I'm doing it again. And I have to, in full disclosure, admit to you that this past week I felt a little bit under the weather, and so I was a little off my game making the cards this week, but I have to tell you, I still had a blast, and I sure do hope you get inspired by the cards and start making cards for the holidays or birthdays and thank yous. It's doing things like that that really drives me to continue making cards even when I'm not feeling my best. And I'm just trying to find which oval I want to use. It's the Ovals Collection framelits that is in our current catalog, both the circles. See, it's embossed. I use Stampin' Dimensionals to adhere the Sentiment oval to the gold foil oval, and then Stampin' Dimensionals again. Snail adhesive to adhere the matte to the card base. Here I am just applying the Stampin' Dimensionals. And there we have card number 6. So this last card in this series is made on Garden Green card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. The Designer Series paper is again from this Christmas Designer Series paper stack, and it is 4 by 5 1/4. And the image layer is 4 by 2 1/2. It's actually 2 1/2 across and 4 1/2 in height. This is using the Irresistibly Floral Resist paper. You just apply ink and then rub off the ink from the white areas. This is the striped paper from this stack. The whole stack has some beautiful floral and you can see here the stripe. It's gorgeous. You can make it any color you want. We use the white seam binding, or the satin ribbon, to put the ribbon to make it look like a package. I'm just using regular old Scotch tape to attach it to the back. Make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Real easy to do, just real easy, but fun. It was fun to create this card. Using Stampin' Dimensionals, we adhere that to the base card and the matte layer. And then using the Bow Builder Punch and the gold glimmer paper, you're going to punch out, I made a double bow, so you're going to punch out several times. And you're going to see I had some difficulty getting the gold foil paper to stick. I actually ended up using Fast Fuse, which was a product that Stampin' Up! Sold. I tried the Tombow glue, I did try the snail, I landed on the Fast Fuse, and that seemed to work pretty good to adhere all of the pieces together. You're going to see they all start to pop open. But in the end, perseverance won out, and I was able to get a bow to place atop the package. Alright, so what's not shown here in the video is the sentiment layer. We use the Cherry Cobbler embossing powder to make the Do Not Open Until Christmas oval sentiment, and applied it to the card using Stampin' Dimensionals. Here you see it in the card. And this is card number 7. Thank you so much for joining us for another Stamp Set Sunday, where we desire to help the cost-conscious crafter design beautiful projects. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future episodes. Please visit me at memesartfulinspirations.com, where you'll find a PDF tutorial and a list of all products used in this episode. Thanks so much. See you next time.